soldier from Botswana. He weighed in at 58.9 kilograms. He's wearing the red trunks, fighting out of the blue corner. He's at 2-2. Let's put our hands together for the man they nicknamed Gearbox. This is Tshephang Babui. His opponent, a man who weighed in at 60.35 kilograms, wearing the black and gold trunks. They call him the Pac-Man. He's had 6 fights, 2 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws. He goes by the name of Nyiko Ndukula. Boxers.
Nyiko, Tshephang, you receive your instructions. I want a clean fight. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves. Good luck.
Thank you.
Seconds out. Round number 1.
Really looking forward to this fight. This young man has been in the ring once before with us. That's Babui, a young lad here from Botswana. Got all the tools of the trade and only a young man. Let's wait and see what he does. A more experienced boxer, of course, he's up against tonight. Only his 3rd fight, of course, for Babui. And Ndukula has got his 6th contest. This is his 7th one now from South Africa. A little bit of counter punch in there from Babui. Needs to tuck himself up a bit better than that, doesn't he? Just a warning from the referee, just round behind. Oh, big overarm there from Ndukula. Should be playing cricket with that one. Right arm over the wicket. Got a longer reach as the South African in the black and gold trunks.
Break.
Couple of nice punches delivered there.
Watch the back, Tshephang. Don't beat him at the back of the head, okay?
Referee Mr. Hazen from Namibia, just giving him a little warning behind the head there from Babui. Got out of reach there quickly. Babui just defended well by moving out of the range of that Ndukula left. Sizing each other up, really, aren't they? Although Ndukula is just landing one punch at a time. He needs to get some combinations going if he wants to do more damage. And of course, the little man just has to try and get inside. Nice little flurry of punches there for Babui. Just 30 seconds to go, and that's the time to make an impression on the judges.
Tshephang, break. Ten seconds to go.
So, looks like Babui's could well have just edged this particular round.
Nyiko.
The local lad doing quite well at the end there, coming through.
Yeah, I think it's a good opening round, I would say, Barry. Even though Ndukula has had a disadvantage as far as the advantage, I would say, rather, with the reach. He hasn't made much use of that, and Babui has been trying to tuck it in and trying to trap him onto the rope. So he's done pretty well in the opening round.
Yeah, he didn't use combinations either. If you watch him, he tries to just one or two, and then tries to lean him back into the right hand, but doesn't land it at all well.
He's much shorter, so, you know, the taller South African is trying to get him into the corners and use his reach and land a few punches. But Babui's done well, I think, to get out of the way.
Round number 2.
So a small crowd at the moment in the arena, but this is always the way. Just suddenly starts to build. Nice opening start from Babui. Few combinations really landing well.
Nyiko! Nyiko, run! Nyiko, come on!
Instructions coming quickly from the corner to keep going, keep moving, keep going around the taller man from South Africa. There's quite a difference in weight, actually. These two fellows, nearly 2 kilos difference between the South African and the young man from Botswana.
Tshephang, not at the back of the head. Break! Break! Watch your heads, gents. Watch your heads, please, now.
Good instruction there from the referee, just telling the boxers just to watch their heads, and that does cause quite a bit of a problem if you suddenly hit each other's heads. Once again, not landing the combination. Ndukula just quite not, just throwing that left, roundhouse type of left. And the crowd enjoying young Gearbox. Got to watch his weight, as Babui. He can put on a bit of weight if he's not careful, and he'll be fighting up a weight. If he doesn't look after himself a little better. Got a little paunch coming around his tummy there. That's nice. Local boxer did well there. Going into the final minute, with I think Babui once again almost dominant, because Ndukula's not actually landing the punches. Nice ending once again from Babui. I think he might just have shaded the South African there. Slightly heavier man, the South African, but he might well have shaded him.
Well, Ndukula seems to be having trouble because Babui seems to be fighting within himself, closing down the range that the South African has. The reach, he's got that little weight advantage, but because Babui is getting closer to him, he's cramping the South African. Hence, there's no opportunity for the South African to land the straight right and the straight left punches to his head. So Babui's been a bit clever, not cagey. He's prepared to fight, and he's prepared to fight the fight the way he wants to. So he dictates what's going on in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, gets underneath the punches as well, doesn't he? So he gives himself a bit more leverage if he can, getting in underneath the shots of the South African. So third round it is. Babui, I have just ahead on my scorecard. Remember, this is a 4-round contest, and a 4-round contest is how normally these young men start their careers, but 6 contests already as Ndukula from South Africa. He's quite experienced, the man in the black and gold trunks. But the little fella, Gearbox from Botswana, just putting the pressure on the South African at the moment. Just ducked underneath that, did the South African, and lucky he did too. So he's trying the combinations, left, right, quickly there from Babui. Needs to get inside and come up, does the Botswanan lad. He's got a little bump on his left eye as the Botswanan, just above the left eye. South Africa gets off the ropes there. He was pinned in. Once again, the final minute of the third round, and the Botswanan just put a little bit extra pressure on the South African, but now retaliation from the man in black and gold.
Oh, yes.
Nice combinations. Oh, good combination there from the Botswanan. Yep, once again, the third round completed, and the Botswana I just overhead, and it's one of those things where, quite honestly, it looks one-sided on a scorecard, but it's not a one-sided fight, Ick, is it?
No, I think the South African seems to be tiring a little bit, and the reason being that he's being tucked up all the time, and the fact that he wants to use his reach, and that reach advantage is not being taken by him because the Botswanan is wrapping him up, and he's getting the punches going around his head. The other disadvantage or advantage that he's not taking, the South African, is the fact that, you know, this the boy has got a little lump on his eye, and one would imagine his opposition will try and open that a little bit and get the fight stopped.
Yeah, needs to attack that, quite right. Ick picked that up well, top of his left eye, you can see that little bulge there, and that's where the left jab comes through, because remember, both are orthodox fighters. The right overhand right comes over the top there again and hits that one right on the top of his eye. And there's a real blockbuster affair taking place now. They're just going to give it all how, I think. Alan Tawil, the man in the corner of the South African, probably said to him, you better do something in this round because I think you're behind on points. Eventually, the referee decides that they should break after a little dancing. Oh, good punch. Good punch. South Africans doing well in this round. Landing some quite strong punches. Oh, good combination there from Botswana. Lucky that one didn't land full on. If it had it on the South African, a little bit of trouble. Got an upper hook coming up through the his arms there from Babui. They're quite tired though, so see them hanging on to each other. Wild swing there from Gearbox. The last few seconds of round number 4, the final round in this 4-round competition. That's a international catch weight, meaning that both boxers didn't weigh in at the right weight, but they agreed to take the fight. Been an interesting one. I think, quite honestly, it probably would have gone to the Botswanan.
I think in that final round, Barry, the South Africans seemed to be tiring all the time. Not been given the opportunity of really getting those punches going, and there was not much power coming from him. The little man from Botswana, Babui, used up all that advantage that he had as far as being under him all the time, and kept on scoring points as he got the punches through and hit him often on the head and also on the body. Quite a few jabs got through, quite a few punches got through as well, and I think that would be the advantage, and that would give him the fight on a very, very narrow sort of points of victory.
Yeah, I think what actually happened there, looking at what, just seeing a few replays there, it was interesting to note that the taller South African kept ducking down. It made it difficult for the young man, the smaller of the two boxers, the boy from Botswana, Tshephang Babui. It's a little bit not easy to fight the tall man because you're coming up. And once again, even for the taller man, it's not easy to fight down either. So it's a difficult bout to probably score. But I would suggest that Babui has got it. And I wouldn't be at all surprised if he doesn't have a full house of 40 points and probably 37 or 36 to the
South African.
Yeah. That's why I scored it ringside. But then again, you know, we're not the experts, and no one relies upon us to make those judgments and those calls. That's done by the 3 judges who are here, Mr. Nkedi, Shamalashi and Nayati, who are at ringside, the judges who will score this catchweight bout. And be interesting to see what their decisions have come, and making sure that they've actually added the total up right now, the tally. And then the ring announcer, Mr. Brian Mulder, will announce the official size. So not a bad way to open up the evening.
It wasn't a bad fight at all, Barry, because you know, both boxers were giving it their all. Like I said, that height and reach advantage wasn't actually used by Alan Tawil's boxer, and you could see the frustration on Alan Tawil's face when they went into the 4th round, and he said, give it your all because you are behind on points.
Absolutely. So let's see what the official results are, and the man that has them is the ring announcer, Brian Mulder.
Your judges have scored this fight as follows. Judge Edwin Nkedi scores the fight 39-39. Judge Simon Klamlashe scores the fight 39-37. Babui. And Judge Bruno Nyati scores the fight 40-38. The winner by majority decision, the man who changed gear, Tshephang Babui.
So a very delighted young man from Botswana, keeps his record intact. He's now gone 3-3, and delighted, of course, to ensure that he gets another go, and I'm sure he will early next year. He's fought twice now on the Africa Boxing here on Fox Sports Africa, and I'm sure he'll get another go. So there we are. It's Tshephang Babui who beats Nyiko Ndukula from South Africa. Unanimous decision, and well done to him, and I'm sure we'll see a lot more of him later.